Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of the video is I asked chat what Job 31 through 14 was prescribing. And ultimately, before we get to it, the reason why I want to look that up, is because the devil, Esau Edom, is just, spewing his racism and his lies and, you know, everything else, regarding, the so-called black men and women, all right, which consist of all nations, all the tribes, all 12 tribes, right? Um, as what three-fourths of a human being, less of a human being, and just so on and so forth, which is not the truth, right? We are the former of all things, right? The beginning of all things, and really and truly, we are, the people of Yahweh Bahashim Al Shai, right? The elect, the angels, the first spirits created, Lord willing, the individuals that helped Yahweh Shai create the whole planet Earth, right? But we as a people all stem from that. All right, let me grab that. The former of all things. This is good. This is a good precept also. Jeremiah 10. All right, so you get up here, listen to what it's saying. This is Jeremiah 10 and 1. It says, Hear the word which the Lord Yahweh Bashim shall speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim shall learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain, right? The people being the heathen, vain meaning pointless, worthless. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold. Slack. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. All right. Ultimately, this is describing that event, Christmas, right? You take a tree, cut it out of the forest, they set it up, you put it up, put silver and gold on it, right? Different customs that these retarded devils do. Okay. It said they are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs and ultimately idols, right? They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. For as much as they're so even a Christmas tree is an idol, because that's something to do with a Christmas tree. And they also do it with their fake ass statues and all of that. Okay. For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord Yahweh Bashem Rashai, thou art great, and thy name is great in might. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee doeth it appear, uh, doeth appertain. Let's go read that real quick. Appertain to paint to pertain to. Okay. So who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For thee doeth it appertain. For as much as among all the wise men of the nations in all their kingdoms there is none like unto thee, but they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stalk is a doctrine of vanities. Silver silver spread into plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Upas, the work of the workmen, and of the hands of the founder. Blue and purple is their clothing. They are all the work of cunning men. See, so even the idols, and this is what these devils worship, right? They worship these different idols, fake gods, right? The true living only power is Yahweh Bashman Shah, right? And these devils worship, wood, stone, and things like that. And we fell into the same trap by following the ways of these devils. It says, Jeremiah 10:10, but the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is the true power. He is the living God and an everlasting King. At his wrath, the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation. Thus shall ye say unto them, the powers that have not made the heaven and the earth, even they shall perish from the earth and from under these heavens. Right, so the idols, right? It says, he hath made the earth by his power, he hath established the word by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heavens by his discretion. When he uttered his voice, there are the multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causes the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Every man is brutish in his knowledge, every founder is confounded by the graven image. For his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. They are vanity and the work of errors. In the time of their visitation they shall perish. So the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the form of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord Yahweh Bashem hosts is his name. So ultimately, we're the form of all things. We going back to we as a people, right? Going back to the 144,000 elect, whoever they may be, right? We, along with Yahweh Shah, of course, through the power of Yahweh, created everything you see here, right? And all the information comes directly from Yahweh Bashem Shah, right? This laptops, whatever, building plans, however you want it, planes, whatever case you're trying to, it all comes from us. Even if you look up all the inventions and things like that, all these inventions in the world came from Jacob. All right, all the devil did was use the money to patent it, right, to make it his own. I remember even just a small thing, 50 cent vitamin water, 50 cent came over that, to make vitamin water, and they bought it from me. That's all they do. We come up with everything, technology wise and all these different inventions, and they just buy it and say they did it, right? And that's not the case. All right, that's why Job 9:24 says the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, and he covered the faces of the judges there. But not where and who is he? Because they come in and they hide the truth. They hide who the true judges are, who the true, great people of the earth are. They try to make it be themselves, and that's not the case, right? These people aren't great at all. I'm gonna slide through real quick. All right, so back. So yeah, these people, going back to that, the fact that they covered, the faces of judges and tried to make them, the actual, face of the earth, which isn't true. We're the face of the earth, right? It's going to be known real soon, right? The scriptures say, then shall be known who are my chosen, right? Even the scriptures talk about these devils repenting, for, it was like, oh, these are the people. Was it, with Solomon 5:5? Let me see. Wisdom Solomon chapter 5, verse 1, it says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. Why? Because we're going to be beamed up by the chariots, but like I said, the scripture says, then shall be known who are my chosen, right? Yeah. I think it's 15 or 16. Yeah, right. Regarding the turmoil, the tribulations and things to come, right? Says second Ezra chapter 16 and 73, then shall they be known who are my children, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So the children, will be known, and they're going to be tried in the fire, right? Which is all the things that's coming on planet Earth. We're going to shine in that day. Let me um look, it's even same thing right here for the precept. See, Jeremiah 51 and 17. Sorry, 14. Jeremiah 51 and 14, it said, the Lord, Yahweh Bashmal Shah of hosts, has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with many as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. Right. And we're here, lift up that shout, right? The prophets, the elect. It says, he hath made the earth by his power, and have established the world by his wisdom, and have stretched out the heaven by his understanding. When he uttered his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings for rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Every man is brutish by his knowledge, every founder is confounded by the graven image. For his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. They are vanity, the work of errors, and the time of their vegetation now they shall perish. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he the form of all things, and Israel is the right of his inheritance. The Lord Yahweh Bashmal shall host is his name. Right, and it goes on to say, thou art my battle axe and weapon of war, for with thee will I break into pieces of nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. See, so he's going to use this man, his elect, in that due season, right, to show you devils that we are the superior, right? We are the supreme overlords, over earth. All right, there's nothing like that. We're the best thing since sliced bread, basically. All right, but they continue to lie. That's okay. It's not going to get them anywhere in line, you know. I was looking for when the enemy shall come out like a flood. I believe it's 50. Let me look it up real quick. So it was Isaiah 59 and 19. It says, so they shall fear the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shah from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. The spirit of the Lord Yahweh Bashmal Shah shall lift up a standard against him. And that standard is going to, be some type of spiritual power, right? A form or way to escape. All right, and that's another way how they will know who the children are. All right. But going back over here, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1, it says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of the salvation so far beyond all that they look for. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision. And a proverb of reproach, you have bywords and different things. Even this little video right here, which I guess this like that. He's a Hamite, all right. But the message is to try to put that on Jake, to be like less of a human, and really these devils is the less of a human. Because even now the shameful thing is being put on their glory, and you see all the type of things they're into. The Most High is really, getting at him with this Epstein list, everything, all of it. So it's beautiful stuff that's happening right now. It says, we fools account his life madness and his end to be without honor. Which is still good right here. How is he numbered among the children of Yahweh Bashman Shai, and this lies among the saints? Therefore have we heard from the way of truth, heard right from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. Yeah. So they're going to be repenting when they see that we are the people. right? Even now, some of them are they get to that point, and that's why they fighting. Really and truly, it's them fighting amongst themselves. An Edomite post some racist shit, another Edomite saying, "Why are you doing that?" It just divided and confused and fighting amongst each other. They want Jake to get in the mix, um, but right now Jake ain't really doing nothing. All right, so going back to this video right here, okay. So this is the video that they wanted to show the monkeys.
The White House has taken down a Truth Social video depicting former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama as monkeys. The White House says a staffer erroneously made the post. It was up for 12 hours. Senator Tim Scott posted to X, quote, "Praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it." The video was mostly about vote counting technology before scrolling to an apparent AI-generated image of the Obama's faces photoshopped onto two monkeys, a racist trope. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says, quote, "This is from an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King." The clip from Trump's post is not from Disney's The Lion King, as the movie does not feature gorillas or orangutans. Barack Obama's former national security advisor denounced the video, calling Trump a, quote, "stain on American history." The White House has dismissed the video, calling the criticism, quote, "fake outrage."
Wherever the case may be, they decide to put these dark color individuals on the monkeys. And to be honest, we personally don't give a fuck. All right, that we want to be racist, not racist. We don't give a fuck. We're just waiting on Yahweh Shah to pull up. All right, and to destroy you. So you be racist, we're racist. But to really be racist, you need to have the power, and the Israelites don't have no power. All right, y'all got the power. So do what you do what you want to do with that power. But Yahweh Shah is gonna win. All right. So anyway, I asked chat, what is Job 31:14 describing? The reason why I asked it that is because it describes cavemen, and those cavemen are the basest, the lowest of men that we have ruling over us today, the Edomites. Right? And they love to talk shit. And the truth is in the Bible regarding who's better and who's not better. If you was to have that argument, and Jake will always win. So what is Job 31-14 describing? Job 31-14 is a raw, bitter lament where Job contrasts his former honor with his present humiliation. He's describing how utterly his social world has collapsed, and he does it in a brutal detail. Here's what's going on section by section. Now, I think I read like the first part. I didn't read most of it, but we'll see what it's talking about. Because, if it goes off, not correctly. One, it says marked by the lowest of society. That's the point. I think I see now. Okay, we got it. Marked by the lowest of society. That's what's happening right now. We're being marked by the lowest of society. They're talking about they got high IQs, right? That we're not smart. Right? We're 3/4 of a human being. Yada yada yada. When I think about it all the time. It was the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Shai allowed the devil to capture us, put us into slavery. It had us in slavery, and everything was booming at the same time. Throughout the times, Jake was coming up with inventions and things like that to help these devils to forward their society. And now we're outside of slavery, and basically hardcore slavery. And they're just setting laws to like keep us down, and basically their system is going down basically because now they're in full control, right? They're running things how they want to run it. They have to work and shit like that, and it's trash. All right, it's all trash basically. They're not doing a good job. That's why the scripture says, the Most High Yahweh Bashim shall set one that's profitable in due time, because these devils are garbage. Okay, they're garbage. Look at this place. The dollar is messed up. People are complaining all around the world. There's a 10. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and a government or prudent man is well ordered. As you can see, this not the current circumstances of this present time. It says it's all messed up here. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of the man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Yeah, just complete wickedness is happening here. Okay. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable, because pursuant to Job 9:24, the wicked who's ruling the earth now is not profitable. Right? The scriptures talk about arise and depart. This is not your rest. Right? I believe that's Micah 2. In 10, it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with sword destruction. So as you can see, this is not my rest. It's bad here. Okay, horrible. So the scriptures say, when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And the people are mourning. People are trying to off themselves, crying all over social media. It's all bad because you have the lowest of the lowest ruling the earth right now. So back over here, this chat. Marked by the lowest of society, Job says that people who were once beneath contempt now mock him. He emphasizes that these are not just poor or young, but people considered social outcasts. Their fathers were so dishonorable, Job wouldn't have trusted them with weak guard dogs. They're described as weak, starving, homeless. They live in wastelands, caves, and among bushes. They're portrayed as driven out of society, treated like criminals. Okay? It says, Job says he has become their song, their byword. Yeah, that's in the curses. We'll be called by bywords, by our enemies. And that's what they do. So they're trying to call people monkeys and the rest of this shit, but really they're just the lowest of the low, right? They're undescribable, all right? Because that's not good either. The most you can say is just vile, wicked, Really this. Isaiah 32. It's not a good scripture in here for them. All right, just put it like that. Isaiah 32:5. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the troll said to be bountiful. This devil is vile. He always been vile, but now you clearly see it with this Epstein list. This shit is crazy. The Epstein list is crazy. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the troll said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, to utter error against the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai, to make empty the souls of the hungry, and he will cause the thirsty to fail. That's exactly what this devil is doing. It said the instruments also of the troll are evil. He devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. Okay? Yeah, he don't care. He don't care if you got an honest answer to any question. He don't care. Right? It's like the people that's trying to self-deport. It's like, okay, they coming down, they trying to arrest me and shit. Let me just go back home. They go to self-deport, and the people still buying them up and taking them to a center, or whatever the case may be. Throw them out of the plane because these are wicked devils. Okay. Says a coordinated attack via Psalm 83 regarding the tumult against the Lord's elect, or against the Israelites, trying to cut them off from being a nation. In the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. It says they attack on his right side, the place of accuser in court. They trip him up and destroy his path. They rush in like a breach, as if a city wall has collapsed. Disaster overwhelms him in waves. Okay, I really wanted to see if we was gonna talk about the cavemen or the you know, Neanderthals, right? I said, what do you say that people describe our cavemen or Neanderthals? It said no. Then it says why it sounds like cavemen. So the answer really is yes, because why the fuck would you even put this right here? I asked it, does it sound like cavemen? It said no, definitely not cavemen or Neanderthals. Job is using poetic and social language, not by biological, you know, categories. It says why it sounds like cavemen. Job described people who live in caves and ravines, forest for roots and scrub plants, are driven out of settled society, are treated as wild, lawless, and dangerous. This imagery feels primitive to modern readers. Yeah, bro, that's exactly what he's describing exactly what was happening with these devils, right? Because at the fall of the Roman Empire, that's where we had these devils at underfoot, right? Subjection, right? And this was just them in general, you know, coming up, trying to attack us with rocks, different things. These are all things that you can, go look at because they describe them. They have documentation on these people, these cavemen and things like that. It's really the Edomites. All right, so let me read this. So you can, search this up, but it said no, but the real answer is yes. That's why I say, why does it sound like that? All right. If it sounds like it, then it is it. But anyway, Job 30:1. It says, but now they that are younger than I, least, insignificant, right? But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I will have disdain to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age prepares so weak, frail individuals. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. Like shoot, shoot, get out of here, get out of here. Like you see a fucking stray cat or something, just a wild, crazy, wet cat or something. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. Now this is exactly what happened. To dwell in the clefts of the valleys and the caves of the earth and in the rocks. Among the bushes they braved, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, they are children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And now am I their song, yeah. And now am I their song, yeah, and their byword. They abhor me, they flee far from me, they spare not to spit in my face, because he have loosed my cords and afflicted me. They have also let loose the bridle before me. Yeah, he was given into the hand of our enemies, right? Which is the lowest of low. And they think they think they so perfect. I remember I was watching a TikTok video and I or something, and the chick is an Edomite chick, and I guess she went to like Black Twitter or something like that, which I don't even know how to get there. I don't know. Yeah, X, I don't know. But anyway, she said she went to Black Twitter, and they was basically saying that the Edomites they think they so pure and white that they don't have to take showers, and she was really concerned with that, and she was trying to explain to her fellow Edomite members how to take a shower, So I get some soap and rag and clean that shit, basically. It was funny. Anyway, Job 30:12, upon my right hand rise the youth. Upon my right hand rise the youth. They push away my feet. They raise up against me the ways of their destruction. They mar my path. They set forth calamity. They have no helper. Yeah, this is them setting up different traps and snares regarding their laws, and things like that. You need 30 years of experience to get a job, you know, for that job. But it's like, what do you mean? I have to work the job to get the experience. They don't care. They came upon me as a wide breaking in the waters. In the desolation they rolled themselves upon me. So ultimately it's describing, vile creatures, all right, vile in the earth, cavemen, no form of societal, know abouts basically, just like grunt, booga, booga, booga. That's Esau Edom. All right, this is Job 32 and 21. Read it from the point. It says, they have mocked me, who we, the Israelites, they have mocked me I'm sorry, they have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those who are not the people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. All right. This is Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will and set up over the basis of men, the lowest, right? Just complete nobodies, no, they don't know nothing. So they take everything that's invented and put their name on it. No salt. Hey, yo, scripture say we're the salt of the earth. Says Matthew 5:13, ye are the salt of the earth. Everyone knows it. All right. America has the best movies and all the sports and all of that because we're here. Food, we're here. Right. I was watching one TikTok video and somebody from Europe, she had a piece of bread with some mayonnaise on it and some banana pieces. Talking about who has better food than us? Tell me. And the dude he listed, and every place he listed was a J place, where it was like Jamaica, stuff like that. Dominican Republic, he's the whole like the start of the list. Every place he was listing was where Jake was at. And I was like, yeah, you already know. Matthew 5:13. The fucking ICE agents eating the Mexican food, and they gonna arrest the Mexicans, but they know the food good. It says, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men." Right, and we have the salt. We have our flavor because we're doing the rule of Yahweh Bashim al Shah. All right. It says, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid." So that's us, the best thing popping, the best thing around. Hey, and even their women is knowing that a lot of women around the world, with the new rise in like podcasts and streams and things like that, these women is going on these shows and letting it be known that they prefer Jake, right? All the tribes. And I don't know what's wrong with that woman. They still ain't getting what's happening, but that's okay. That's why the scripture say, then the scripture say, then she that is my enemy shall see it. You know, um, who's that 38? Was it Micah 38 or 3:10? Yeah, Micah 7:10, it says, then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai that power? Mine eyes shall behold her, now shall she be trodden down as the mine in the streets. Yeah, you got all these women out here choosing, right? They choosing Jake, but our women, they still ain't get the message, I guess. But then it's gonna be too late. You're gonna be at the back of the line, right? You got a long line of heathen in front of you. Ain't that crazy? Let me go back over here. So Obadiah, the point is in 2, Obadiah 1:1. It said the vision of Obadiah does state the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai concerning Edom. Yeah, I've heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. See, greatly despised. These Edomites, these are the cavemen, right? Small, lowest. All right, they're the lowest of all society. And they talk the most shit. So people say, as for his enemies, he puffeth at them. All right. Malachi 1:1, the burden of the word, Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, the wicked, the caveman, right, the so-called white man today, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build a desolate places. This was his position, impoverished, desolate, grunting, booger, booger, booger. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build a desolate places. Thus said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shad of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shad have indignation forever. And your eyes shall see, and you shall say, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shad will be magnified from the border of Israel. Right, so we the people, you not the people. All right, you're not better than us. All right, so I just want to throw it out there. Lord willing, you're edified from the lesson. Shalom to the whole elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.